Pleasure of racing in last year, and watched some of these guys kind of flying past me on the run. But yes, I'm Graham Bell. I live in Henley. I work for the BBC, and triathlon is kind of my adopted second sport, and I've been doing it for a few years, but obviously not to the level of these guys. But as I say, it's a brilliant competition. Been involved in it for the last 2 years, and yeah, it's great to be back, and just like to welcome you all. What we're going to do is we'll just kind of go down the table. I'll ask a couple of questions, just introduce everybody, and then we'll do some questions from the floor, if that's okay. So we'll start off with Tuka. Nice to meet you. Good to see you again. How's your season gone this year?
It has been a little bit disappointed. I had allergy problem spring, and early season was difficult, but everything should be okay now.
And last year, you raced here last year.
Yeah.
And you think good performance this year, same or better?
I hope so. I'm better this year.
Yeah. Okay. But did you enjoy it last year?
Yes.
Good course.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. And Joel, season going well?
Not by my normal standards, I'd say. I've spent a lot of time trying to improve my performance, so a lot of time training basically, and I don't feel like I'm racing enough. The races I've done have showed promise, but when you train all season, you don't race, you kind of lose your identity as an athlete. So it'd be good to get out there and race a solid race.
So how many of you have you done any iron distance events this year?
Yeah, I did UK Ironman 5 weeks ago. Came 5th there. I had a disappointing bike there, so I guess yeah, it's being a bit rusty from not racing, but yeah, I've done 1 Ironman and 2 halves, so not that much this year.
Right. So thoughts for the weekend?
I'd say I'm in similar shape to last year, and last year I ran pretty well, biked well and swum like a brick. So all this training I've been doing over winter, if I can get close to them out the swim and repeat what I did on the bike and run, then I should be in the mix.
Brilliant. And Tom, how have your preparations been going?
Well, I'd like to change the tone of conversation, because these two haven't had great seasons, and say I've had an absolutely awesome season. But actually, it's been horrendous. Partly a lot due to illness, but yeah, I had a period, quite a long period, where I just wasn't remotely interested in what I was doing. So when the motivation goes to get out the door, the results suffer, and that's what's happened over the last sort of 12 months. But I feel I've found my feet again a little. Whether I'm fit or not, I'm not entirely sure, so I'll see how the weekend goes. I'm looking forward to it, which is which makes a change, because the last 2 or 3 races I've had 70.3s in Mallorca and Norway, and even an Ironman in Melbourne as well. And even before the race, even the day before the race, there were no butterflies, there were no, sometimes I'd even forget what I was doing the next day. So I really wasn't enjoying it. But yeah, the fact that I'm looking forward to Sunday is a good sign. And
it must be really hard to keep your motivation up for the training, the amount of training that you put in a week, and how many hours would you put in?
Yeah, we're extremely lucky to do what we do full time. To be a full-time athlete is superb, but yeah, there are times when certainly this year I've kind of questioned what I'm doing, and yeah, much better now, and looking forward to the race at the weekend.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I'm sure. I'm hoping it will go well.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers. Stephen, just talk us through last year's race. Yeah, just remind us of the race from last year.
For me, it was I had a big gap after the swim. I think 8 or 9 minutes on travel, similar to the rest of the guys. Then on the bike, I was just on my own the whole way. with a group of these guys gradually catching me. I could see that, so I took it as a steady pace, hoping to save my legs for a decent run, and I did. Me and Joel ran a pretty similar pace, so I just about held the 1.5 minutes that I started the run with to finish it. So I started from the start to the finish in the lead, which it's quite a stressful way to race. You've got the guys behind you, you can see them a lot on this course with the out and backs on the bike and the run. So you can see them catching you.
So you felt like the rabbits?
Yeah, but I was in good shape, so I was confident in my run. Even if Joel called me, I felt like, it wasn't the end of the race. I was still some strength there, so yeah, I was very pleased to win. Yeah.
And did you enjoy the course here? How does this course differ from other ones that you race on?
It's the UK roads are particularly bumpy compared to some of the races we do.
Yeah.
I don't know about Austria and Switzerland where we train a lot. It's quite different, the roads. So that actually makes it pretty hard bike course, and it seems like the course is similar this year, got a different climate.
It's not just the potholes, it's also the fact that the tarmac's quite rough as well, so the bike doesn't run so fast.
Well, you go to Challenge Roth, which some of these guys have done, you get, after training maybe in the UK, you go on that road, you go, blimey, I'm going to do a personal best here, and people do. It's a big difference, the road surface. And but it's a nice, the swim's nice in the Thames, and the run particularly is really beautiful. It's interesting, so it's not just running up and down a boring piece of road.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it a lot.
The run is pleasantly flat as well.
Also,
And Bella, I just heard from Alan that this is now going to be officially your retirement race. Is that a decision that's taken a long time to come to?
Yeah, I put the announcement out 2 days ago. It's been something that I knew was coming up for quite a long time, for maybe a year. It's not been an easy decision to make. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I couldn't imagine not doing what I've done for the last 15 years. But I've done a lot of Ironman racing in that time. It takes its toll on your body, and my body has done enough. My priorities are different now. I'm not the athlete I used to be. I have other things to think about. I have a baby boy. He's not a baby anymore. He's a little boy. And I can't dedicate myself to do this professionally like I used to do. It's time to move on, and I have accepted it now, although it was heart-wrenching at times. I've accepted it now, and it's going to be different, but it's going to be fine. And I'm going to be helping. I want to help and coach others in the sport. I won't be going far. I'll be in the sport, but I won't be racing.
You were on the podium last year. Have you got it in your legs for one more climb up onto the podium, onto the top of the podium?
Well,
last year's winner's not here.
Yeah, last year was great. I was happy with last year. I did what I could. I think this year that Yvette should win, really, but she's been showing a bit of form this year. But I don't want to. I'm not going to just give it to her. I would like to put a bit of a fight up, and of course, I'd love to finish my career with a win, but it's not easy. I'll be definitely doing what I can.
Brilliant. And so that you're going to win? Referring.
I mean, I'm obviously going to give it my best, but I know full well it's always anything can happen in Ironman. It's always hard racing against Bella. She certainly beat me when I junior last year. So yeah. So anything can happen out there, but of course I'd love to win. Yeah.
I mean, how much on the limit are you when you're going around? I mean, is there any kind of slack at all? I mean, Stephen was saying he was able to kind of being out front, able to judge it a little bit on on the bike and just in case, and have something back in case someone catches you and you've got something to reply with, or are you just absolutely?
The hardest thing really is, at times some races are easy and others is keeping you focused for that many hours. Because you want to be obviously pushing as much as you can, but there'll be races where I look back and go, was I really working hard enough for that time on the bike? Was I, not trusting my own? I wasn't trusting my ability and pushing enough, that sort of thing.
So you think the incidences of not working hard enough outweigh the incidences of pushing too hard and blowing up?
At times, it's taken me quite a few races to sort of realise how much I can push myself at a distance, because I probably did at times hold back in some races.
I go around advising people. I've got friends who are doing this race, and there's one guy who's doing the race. He's never done a triathlon before, let alone an Ironman, and he's going to race. And I was saying to him, listen, whatever you think you're going to do, rein yourself in, because the incidences of pushing too hard are, the fact that you probably won't make the finish if you push too hard. But I think with you guys, it's a different ball game. Altogether.
Now the competition's so hard, and the races that you've got to just give it your all.
Brilliant. And Alan, happy to be back in Henley?
Very much so, but before I answer that, I'd just like to say these guys, they're all squaring up and pushing each other. And these guys are going, yeah, you'll win. No, I'll let you pass me, but I can guarantee that on race day, none of this lot will be anything but fighting hard all day long. And I love how clever they all are to make everyone think that they're not in great shape. Great move, but you've all gone down the same line, so come on. But yes, it's our third year, so we've had a slight change to the bike course, which we think will be even faster this year. So we think, looking at the weather conditions that we've got forecast for Sunday, I think it's 21 degrees, virtually no wind. I think we're going to have some super quick times from these guys out there. I think a lot of age groupers are going to do some really quick PBs as well.
We've added Watlington Hill, which is considerably steeper than the hill that we did last year.
It's cheeky, but it's short, but it's shorter and over quicker. So we think actually that the difference of that one compared to the longer drawn
the drag up Stoner Hill,
will actually mean it's a faster course.
Yeah, cheeky. Right. When you're out of the saddle.
The third time it will be cheekier than the first and second.
Yes. Well, at least when you get to the top of Watlington Hill, it's pretty much downhill all the way back into Henley. It's quite a long drag back in there. And then the run course the same as last year.
Yeah.
Swim course the same.
Yeah, all the same.
And happy with Phyllis Court and Henley.
Yeah, we've made a slight change on site to the finish. So this year, all the finishers on every lap will actually run past the finish, and I think that could be a good point. It could be good to a point, but some people will be like, oh no, past the finish again. But it'd be great. So they're going to go into the real hub of where the activity is on every lap. So I think that will really lift the athletes and give them a nice boost on whether it's 2 laps or 4 laps that they're doing.
And how many drafts were there of the bike course? Probably about 1,200.
Yeah, we had a fair few, and over a 3-month period that we consulted with the various people, we obviously all the things came back, and there were various concerns that we looked to address, and we believe that we've addressed all those concerns, and the course is going to be good for the athletes, and you know.
And you're going to have motorcycles out in case there's cars that need to get in and out.
Yeah, I mean, just from a course perspective, it's obviously a closed course, but there's a lot of residents that live on, as any course would be, that live on the various parts of it. We have it all sectioned into 8 sections, and each section has 2 motorcycle outriders, and their only job is to escort people in and out of the residences. So it's not a thoroughfare. You don't get to the closure and then just drive on to your next place. Yeah. It's for people who live, or people who are visiting people who live on the course. So there's 2 per section, so 2 supervisors and 2 spares. So we have 20 motorcyclists just to get people in and out of the bike course, so to make sure it's safe and obviously the athletes are well protected during that their race day.